one of the owners asked me, she said, can I just try giving my horse my own cannabis? And I told her at the time, I said, I don't know anything about it, but let me look into it for you. I'm totally open to whatever helps the animal and the patient, especially when it comes to pain management, because that's such an important topic. And a lot of times I don't feel like we're doing enough for our patients on the pain front. And so my technician and I started looking into it. Her husband is in THC extraction, and she's now my partner in VetCS, but she had a whole kind of Rolodex of contacts and people to ask about veterinary cannabis, and we weren't coming up with a lot. So we had started with, okay, well, what kind of dose would be good? Where would you get from a dispensary, or can hemp help? Things like that. And we were coming up with dead ends on anything directed towards horses for dosing, really, or ease of medication, any preparations. Obviously, for a horse, your concentrations are going to be a lot higher, hopefully, to not be giving so much volume of oils, which were the main available product at the time. And so my partner Trish and I got into testing. We had a small subset of horses. So, and these were all clinical to start with, but 4 horses that we dosed with an isolate and oil preparation, pulled blood samples, basically ran through different dosing protocols. We even have, in equine medicine, we do a lot of timed flexions for lameness and orthopedic issues. And so we'd have baseline lameness flexions. They would dose, do a washout, change the dose, come back. And then we were able to do pharmacokinetic data on a lot of those serum samples right here at CSU. So it gave us an idea of at least, okay, this is how much we're putting into the horse. This is what we're getting in the bloodstream. And then, of course, what was really important, although there was a lot of bias in this, but the owners were filling out surveys, reporting changes on the horses, and filling us in. So the kind of neat thing, although it's not at all a controlled study, it was just a small number to start with, is that I knew these horses. I knew what pharmaceuticals they were on, what dosages, how comfortable we had gotten them to a point with those pharmaceuticals. And then we add in varying levels of cannabidiol, and they were, for at least 2 of the 4 horses, substantially better. And through that, we found that we needed really high doses to obtain analgesia in horses. And that still carries through today. So even though we have a lot more controlled and regimented studies coming down the pipelines with horses, we at least learned a lot in those days of 1 to 2 milligram per kilogram is not enough, for a painful condition. We're talking laminitis cases, severe orthopedic diseases, and osteoarthritis. In those 4 cases, there were really mobility limiting issues, which in horses are a big deal because they have a slew of other sequelae that come when you don't treat the primary issue. So I learned a lot from those horses, and that kind of pushed us down a path of, okay, this is really effective. How do we now make this more affordable to produce for your average horse? Obviously doses, and at that time using that much isolate was very expensive. And then it was really just, how do we learn more about this, the safety, everything about it. So that's still a very long and evolving path, but I think it was kind of neat for the time that we were able to do those horses and really see the results pretty clearly, right in front of us.